All right, guys, so I got something new to discuss with you guys today, and that's right. We're going to take a look at the top 10 stocks that the hedge funds are actually buying up. There are some big surprises on this list, and honestly, I was speechless when I saw a few of them. I mean, just shocking was the word. I couldn't believe that Wall Street was buying these stocks. But hey, it's hedge funds, so it's just going to be ridiculous. So let's go over each one of these stocks individually, and I'll give you a rating as to whether it's a pump it or a dump it, and we'll discuss each one in detail. Just make sure you hit that like button if you kind of like videos like this, where I kind of do something a little bit new and discuss some stocks that we don't normally talk about. And of course, don't forget, if you want to have financial freedom and retire early, check out the pinned comment down there for my new channel where that's all we discuss. If you want that type content, you want to be financially free, check out the pinned comment down there. Don't forget, the biggest percentage discount on my group ever is going to expire this weekend, guys. Sunday, this weekend. So make sure you take advantage. Check out the pinned comment down there. If you want to get access to myself, you want to take 5 courses for free, use the stock analyzer tool for free, be a part of the best 6, 7, and 8 figure Discord. You can jump on our live Q&A, slide into my DMs. There's so much going on and so much actually coming to the group that you want to make sure you take advantage of this, because when it expires, I'm not going to have a sale for a long time, guys. So make sure you check out the pinned comment and see if a membership's right for you. Okay, just a quick note here before we get rolling. I am looking at these from a buy and hold investor's perspective. I understand hedge funds, they're traders, completely different strategy. There might very well be a great trade there. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about from a buy and hold investor's perspective. Are these stocks basically a pump it or a dump it? And that's exactly how I'm viewing it. All right, so starting off with number 10, that stock would be Blackberry. And guys, I don't know. I didn't even know Blackberry was still a thing. I know it became like a meme stock a few years ago during all the GameStop stuff and some other things like that. But I don't know what the heck Blackberry is doing. I haven't seen anybody with a Blackberry for a long time. It's just one of those things. I understand hedge funds play games. It must strictly be a trade there. I don't see any long-term future in Blackberry, at least at this stage. Now, maybe they got something cooking. Maybe there's something speculative going on there. I'm not exactly sure. But for me, especially with all the other great stocks that are out there right now that I want to own, this is just one. I'm going to dump it. I don't want any part of it. So moving on to number 9, that would be Snap. Again, it's another stock that has just basically disappointed quarter after quarter after quarter. And basically, it was sending stocks down that were not even really related. I mean, it would be like they'd have a bad quarter. They always seem to report earnings before all the rest of the social media type companies would report. And it would cause a fall in Meta and a lot of other stocks like that, because somehow Snap is the same thing as Meta. And then, of course, Meta would crush the quarter. And it just didn't make any sense at that time. It was just a discount and an opportunity for you to buy. But I don't know what the play here is with Snap. I don't see it as a growing social media platform or some place to where all of a sudden everybody's going to want to go there. In terms of monetization, they don't have the same way to monetize like some of the other platforms do. So for me, it's a dump it. I'm staying far, far away from Snap. So number 8 is Airbnb. You guys know I love this stock. I've owned it for a long time now. I was buying it basically, I don't know, down under $100 all the way up to around 114, 115 or so. That's kind of the buy range I've been buying at. And I just love the company. I love the execution. I use the product personally all the time in my travels. And to me, it's just a great stock. Now, it is trading a little bit rich, not too terribly rich. It's not crazy or anything like that. And of course, there's all the Airbnb apocalypse and all this other stuff like that, which if you actually understand how the business works, there was a ton of bad businesses using Airbnb. Now, what I mean by that is it's not Airbnb as the company. It's a lot of folks who are trying to rent their, I don't know, house out in the middle of nowhere, some small town that nobody's going to visit at, and try to turn it into an Airbnb as an investment, when that's not the intent of Airbnb. That's not where the money making is in terms of having an Airbnb business. So a lot of the Airbnb apocalypse you're hearing about is folks that did exactly that. They should have had no business trying to do Airbnb in the first place. I can guarantee you they weren't generating a lot of revenue for Airbnb, the company themselves. And that's what happens whenever you have a hot real estate market and people start to speculate. You see things like that. But thankfully, Airbnb doesn't own any of that stuff. Airbnb didn't get in the business of owning the actual Airbnbs and the properties themselves. They're just a facilitator of the transaction. And that right there is why I love the business model, because they can keep that basically, overhead really, really low and continue to make money on the other side. So for me, this is definitely a pump it, a little bit on the heavy side in terms of valuation, but it's still a great company, I think, with a long run in the future, especially as kind of older generations start traveling less and the younger generations are going to start traveling more. That's what they use, disproportionately to old school hotels and stuff like that. So it's a stock I definitely want to be in for the long term. Coming in at number 7 is Walmart. All right, I'll be honest with you guys. I have no idea why a hedge fund would want to buy Walmart of all stocks. It's boring. It doesn't move. They can't really manipulate it up and down like they can so many other stocks. So I have no idea what the play is here. But from a long-term buy and hold investor's perspective, Walmart is a great stock. It's a great stock to own for the long term. And obviously, you're not going to make massive gains. You're not going to 10x your money or anything crazy like that. But it's a great stock long term. So it's definitely a pump it for me. Coming in at number 6 is Tesla. Now, for me, this one's no surprise that they own it. I guess the only surprise would be that that's not, higher on the list, not closer to number 1. But hey, for me, you guys know I'm a Tesla bull. I'm going to say pump it, even though I think we're going to have a rough next couple of quarters, which may very well mean we get some great discounts on Tesla, which I'm looking forward to if it happens. But for me, it's definitely a stock I want to own. Definitely one that I understand why the hedge funds owned it as well. So this one makes sense all the way around from a long-term buy and hold investor's perspective and from a trader's perspective. So for me, this is definitely a pump it, but be cautious because you were in for a roller coaster ride with Tesla. 150 wouldn't surprise me this year. Neither would 300 plus surprise me this year. So definitely keep that in mind if you're going to own Tesla. Stock number 5 is Disney. Now, this one actually did surprise me a little bit. It was on a list because it's kind of, again, a boring stock. Doesn't really move a lot. There's been a lot of turmoil in Disney, and that's the reason why I kind of think hedge funds want to own it. So for me, I own it. I bought it down in the low 70s, or I'm sorry, the upper 70s there. Just a small starter position there just to kind of see in regards to that, to see if they can actually turn the business around or not. I don't know. It's definitely got business problems that they have to solve in order for this to be a great stock. So for me, I'm kind of neutral on this one right here because there's a lot of risk with this stock, and they definitely, in terms of the business, I'm not getting all the other political nonsense or anything else like that. From a business perspective, they've got a lot of different problems to solve. Now there is a way to solve them, but they have to actually execute to it. So for me, this one's a neutral for right now. Not right for a lot of folks, maybe right for some. And again, I kind of see why hedge funds own it as well. So stock number 4 is my favorite. That would be Apple. You guys know it's my favorite stock of all time in the stock market. I own it. I love it. But I got to be honest with you guys. I think it's going to be a tough, at least first quarter, first half of the year here for Apple. They were riding high for so long, just continue to push earnings, push earnings, push earnings, push earnings. And it just basically, it's exhausting at this point. They can't go any further. They managed to stay afloat while all the rest of the market tanked in 2022. They didn't take the beating like everybody else does. And I think all that finally catches up to Apple. Still think it's a great stock. Definitely a pump it for me, but definitely with some caution because I think we're going to see a rough next couple of quarters. Just in terms of stagnating growth and some other things. And this happens periodically with Apple. We will see 6 months to a year of basically some stagnation, some consolidation, and then all of a sudden it goes on its next run. So definitely one I'm pumping, but you got to be cautious with this one and understand where they're at in the cycle and understand where they're at in terms of valuation. Number 3 is Nvidia. Again, another stock that has just crushed it over the past year. I can't name another stock that I can think of right off the top of my head that has crushed earnings so incredibly in this kind of mega cap category than Nvidia. And every time people have doubted that, oh, they can't do that again, man, they just come right out and they just crush it again. Now, is it sustainable for the next 5 years? I don't know. That remains to be seen. That's going to be really, really tough. But man, every time we've doubted Nvidia for probably the past 3 or 4 quarters now, they have just crushed it. So for me, definitely a pump it, but definitely take some caution in that pumping because we don't know with these AI hype and the AI chips, somebody's eventually going to figure out how to compete and how to basically create a chip that's either the same or better, or at least competitive to where some of that pricing comes down, which of course is going to hit Nvidia's bottom line. But when that happens and what that timeline is, who knows? And everybody that's listened to all the experts out there and sold out of their position earlier have lost big time. So for me, definitely not going to say sell it, but definitely going to tell you, be cautious and understand the product itself. I don't understand Nvidia and I don't understand the chip industry. I don't understand how it works. That's why I don't own it, because I can't accurately forecast what's going to happen in the chip industry, how that business model actually works, how it hits the bottom line, what the cycles are and everything else. So I personally stay away from it, but I understand it's a great stock. Again, it's been one of the best performers, if not the best performer over the past year. All right, just 2 more stocks left to go. Go ahead and comment down below if you think you know what these last 2 are, but let's take a look at the second to the first one. So basically second place, and that would be Amazon. You guys know I love Amazon. I've been buying Amazon. Oh my gosh, whenever it fell underneath $100 and it got down in the 80s, we were scooping up as much as we could. It's just a great company, great stock. It does this where it basically trades flat or down for a period of years. Sometimes it's like 2 or 3. It's like it has a rocket up, then it kind of plateaus, and then it starts this next rocket ship up. And they overexpanded, kind of post shutdown and all that sort of stuff. But they're starting to catch up to that. Obviously, AWS is just crushing it. I remember when that was a joke and everybody laughed and said, Amazon, what are you doing? Well, look at it now. So for me, definitely a pump it. I want to own as many shares and as many shares as I can get my hands on. Every time the stock gets beat down, I'm going to continue to buy it for the foreseeable future. So yes, Amazon is a pump it for me. On to number one, which again, I can't believe hedge funds have this as their number one pick, but it is Microsoft. Now, I'm not dissing Microsoft at all. It is a great company. They're executing on a high level. Everything about Microsoft is just clicking like, honestly, it hasn't clicked in a while. That's how great Microsoft's doing. A little bit rich on the valuation side, but it is a great stock. Absolutely a pump it for me. And again, I'm a little shocked that hedge funds are buying it up, as the number one spot. But hey, it's Wall Street. Wall Street makes no sense. This is why I don't try to guess what they want and what they're trying to do. Don't forget the biggest percentage discount on my group ever is going to expire this weekend, guys. Sunday, this weekend. So make sure you take advantage. Check out the pinned comment down there. If you want to get access to myself, you want to take 5 courses for free, use the stock analyzer tool for free, be a part of the best 6, 7, and 8 figure Discord. You can jump on our live Q&A, slide into my DMs. There's so much going on and so much actually coming to the group that you want to make sure you take advantage of this, because when it expires, I'm not going to have a sale for a long time, guys. So make sure you check out the pinned comment and see if a membership's right for you. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market, and click here to see my exact plan for this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.